Welcome back everyone to Welstopia, and today we are going to be looking into how we could improve our path over to the Chamber of Ordeals here. And what I mean by that is that we've got this big ugly block over here, and we have only this tiny little space in which you could conveniently get over on this side. I don't think that'll do. Therefore, I want to have a foyer for this particular area so that when you come down here you see something a little bit more impressive. To do that, of course, the first thing we need to do is to get rid of all of the stone. Don't worry though, the stone will be put to very good use because one of the reasons I wanted to do this now is because I'm going to need the stone to finish up my tunnels. Yeah, the tunnels does have something to do with the reason I'm doing this, because if you recall, I said I was either going to be coming back to the Chamber of Ordeals or I will be doing something involving the tunnels. And how about C? Both of the above. And this is the result. Now I can see the chamber down from here. And we have this nice big central area where I can place another build. Then that will lead to the various parts of the temple proper. So I'm thinking that we'll have some sort of area here, probably some central gathering location or the like. Then back there we have the Chamber of Ordeals. And back here and back down there we have the entrances into the temple proper. Now, I am going to need, of course, to fill this in to even it out, but I might leave a little bit of the depression here, and until I decide that, I am not going to really fill this in, especially since stone is precious right now, and I don't feel like using the stone in order to get that filled in. But long-term plan will, of course, be to even this out so that it looks proper. And now, I did some testing in here in order to check this thing out once in a while, and there are a couple places in here that do seem to be getting a little bit off from what I want. Now this room, I think, is how I want it. It slows you down. Mobs don't pop in here too often because of all the light in here, so I think this is fine. Down in here though, I've been finding I've been getting few mobs here. Now, it could be I've been putting in too much light up there or something like this. I have to still get the lighting. Obviously, it's turned off right now, so there's a lot of light here. Because I've run into very few mobs over here. Where I do run into mobs is right there, as you can see where all the water is going to. I need to change that dynamic because I think I really want the water to channel over here. Because if there's a mob over here, it keeps on hitting you, hitting you, hitting you. It's very hard to hit it back unless you jump into the water with it or something like this. And I think it's easy. It'd be better if they all get channeled here. So I need a few more spawns over here, and I need that to no longer be my bottleneck because you get zombies stuck there that keep on hitting you, and it's very hard for you to hit back. So that's the first area of problem I've been having. Now over here, I did wind up breaking some leaves, so I had put a temporary thing of wood over here. But I need some way of handling this so that breaking leaves doesn't get you into deep trouble, because if you can't get up here and you don't have extra leaves on you, you're in trouble. And of course, the initiate shouldn't go around carrying leaves all over the place. So that's going to be a little problem on the matter, is to work this out a little bit better. Now this is the room that has been getting the most spawns. And I found it interesting that the mobs like to come up here. When you're up there, the zombies just come up here and you're able to fight them off. So I think that works out pretty well in my book. So I do have a few more things to do on there. But that's not what we're going to be doing today. As I approach the end of the north tunnel, I decide that tomorrow will be when I will start on my next part of the tunnel project. The south tunnel is going to be done by somebody else. And this is going to be a relatively short main tunnel ending in a very wide hall that's going to serve both as a build and as a tunnel together. We'll see how well that particular experiment works out. But that is something that I am going to be on the sidelines for, because I will be working on the east tunnel. Yes, right. The east tunnel is the next one that I will be doing, and the east tunnel is the one with the marketplace, a wither killing area, and I have seen over time tends to develop a large number of potholes all over the place, as you could see here. And that's the reason why I'll be doing this one next, because I think this is turning into a very dangerous area. It's got all of these places where I'm almost scared to do something here. But someone's got to do something, and here we got a tunnel right off of here, so I don't know where this goes. So you can see that things are very haphazard here and are in need of some sort of building, and we've got many exposed areas. So very definitely this is an area that is in desperate need of a tunnel to be built. So this is what I'll be starting tomorrow. Now where does this go? I checked over there. It was dark, undeveloped, and uninteresting. And also, it's unmarked in any way to indicate that it belongs to anyone. The map also doesn't include any sign of it. So I'm going to post a message on the Discord and double check to see whether or not it is in use by anyone, and if it's not, it is going to be going down. You're not supposed to have a nether portal there anyway, so the question is whether I would work with the owner to move it, or if I would have to get rid of it, and if someone does have a reason for it to be there, then we'll have to work something out. Otherwise, it'll have to go. And here's the rest, and here's another. At least this was a case here where samples, it's at least in a couple of spaces, so maybe it will be within the rules. I might have samples move it a couple of steps, or I might be able to just incorporate it into the design without any trouble. So the question is, what will the design be? And I've decided that just as I used a red theme over on the other side, I am going to be using a green one here. I'll be using prismarine blocks, some prismarine, and also sea lanterns for lighting. So we'll have a nice lighting for that then. And the good thing about sea lanterns is I'll have an easier time getting it. We have a community guardian farm. I can get sea lanterns there. I've already harvested a few of them, so I know how long it takes. And it's a lot easier to get than glowstone, because in the last few areas down over here are... I really wish that there were north, south, east, west banners on the ends here, because on the portals there, it's just not where I'm going to be usually looking. But down on here, where I'm using glowstone usually, but I wind up desperately using torches at the end because I've got no more glowstone. Speaking of which, I've heard that there's a witch farm, and I'm wondering if I can get some glowstone there. In looking at the current state of the witch farm, I can only conclude that it really hasn't begun. So therefore, that doesn't mean that glowstone is completely out. Perhaps I can find a cleric. I think it's clerics that sell glowstone and be able to get some that way, because from that little ordeal thing I do have a bit of zombie flesh, but that gets it in little drips and drabs, so it's unlikely to be enough. Now this of course leads into the nether, but where? It leads into the market tunnel, so therefore you can get back to the market area through that particular nether portal, but you can't get to that location. But since it's not really built yet, I suppose that will be a reasonable way of handling it. Get you back to safety, but make it harder for you to get there until someone actually builds those witch huts. At least the Guardian farm works and is, I think, open now. Let me show you that because it looks beautiful. Here is the tunnel that leads to the Guardian farm, and it looks quite appropriate for its purpose. And on the other side is a real nice Guardian farm. Here we are at the Guardian farm, and it looks pretty nice. You have this pyramid made of sandstone on the exterior, and of course you've got the prismarine all over in the inside. So it's a very huge place to cover all the areas. So you could see the items all dropping through and feeding into here. Here we have fish, and it's already cooked for you because the killing mechanism is lava. So you have all this fish coming in through here and slowly filling that all the way up. Now I took a little bit of fish along the way so that I could fill up, because I've run out of food, because I keep on running out of food. I really do need to get myself a farm here, but if I had to come here anyway, then this is perfect on that matter. Now here we have prismarine shards, and of course your prismarine crystals, so that you can get plenty of stuff. I've took the liberty of grabbing some already, and took some fish, some prismarine bricks, and some prismarine blocks that I made from some prismarine that I made from while I was here. And all that they ask is that if you take stuff from here, then it's a good idea to wait a little while to help refill the areas. So that's what I've done on that matter. And that is the Guardian farm. Looks very nice. And a nice source for this, because I'm going to need all this prismarine when I do the south tunnel. I mean, not the south tunnel, the east tunnel. And with all that prismarine, it's good to have a consistent source of it, as opposed to the non-source that I have over for my glowstone. Now, let's head back. The next place I wanted to show you is exit 38, which is the community ice tray. Now, due to the nature of this exit, I decided that rather than having a full-fledged exit path, I just put a door there. Doubly so, since it looks like, for some obscure reason, I wound up having 2 consecutive W's instead of having a break in between. So therefore, no real convenient place to have a full-size one. And also, it's very dangerous in this thing, because you came out here, it immediately had a drop down. So I had to come up here, and we came all the way up here, and now this is obviously an end portal which goes into the ice farm. This place is rather straightforward. All you've got to do is go about and chip away some ice, and it quickly refills. And you could even be inside here, since it's only 1 deep, so you don't have to worry about having to mess with lakes where they're too deep and being a fear to drown or anything like that. But there you go. Make sure everything gets up to full height before I leave here. I wasn't in particular need of ice. I just wanted to show you what the ice farm looked like, and I just want to somehow I managed to mess all that up. Okay, that's the times when you do it too fast, I guess. Alright, that finally got that there. Oh well. I certainly didn't mean to go into it this far. Oh well, you get the idea how it works. Now that I've managed to collect more ice than I need, just want to show you the old way to get here, which was this ladder which went all the way up to the top of the nether onto the bedrock, and they used that in order to come to and from here. I added the exit from the north corridor in order to handle this thing, and probably at some point I'm going to upgrade this so that we have a little bit of a chamber here, so you get up and down from here and be able to go down here and not have to worry about pigmen and other creatures trying to go after you. But now I think we need to head off and see how much of the north corridor we can get finished before this end of the month. Here I am at the end of chunk 72, and this is where I run out of granite. I'm also getting close to running out of stone, so this is about as far as I'm going to be able to get tonight. So I'm going to call it there. 72 chunks, minus however many chunks the hub took away from us in that matter. And we are within close sight of the stairs, so I just missed getting to them on this before the end there, but I got pretty close. And it was a huge amount of progress that was done in doing this. But of course, the tough bit is that granite I was a bit short on, and of course stone, smooth stone is the biggest thing, and I'm still going to need a huge amount of it for the east corridor, and I have to think of a way to conserve smooth stone as I am working on this project. Maybe I'll come up with a design that has a little bit demand for stone in it, and perhaps a little bit more for prismarine, which is an easily... Well, right now it's easily renewable. Unfortunately, it's not very flexible. The reason why I like smooth stone is because you could make stairs of it, you could make slabs out of it, you can make all sorts of shapes out of it that are very useful when you're building in Minecraft. So most likely I'm going to have to just give myself a lot more stone and be able to continue on the project that way. And that means that tomorrow I'll be starting on the new corridor. Maybe do a small amount of it so I could get some commentary from the people living in the east corridor. And that way I could then go back to the north corridor, finish that up at least to the stairs while I wait for any commentary to come through. But that's all for next time. So I'll return again for another episode where we'll go through the beginning of the building of the east corridor and see what we get. But that'll be in our next episode of Pineleaf Plays Minecraft Welstopia.